Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the quick update over at the Bakhmut Front. So this is Ukraine, Bakhmut is here. So welcome to the Bakhmut Front, and this is Bakhmut city. And the most significant news, actually there's quite a number of them, is actually the capture of the non-ferrous metal plant, also known as AZOM, AZOM. So according to RIBA and SITREP maps, in today's latest information, today's report, they say that the WAGNER private military contractors have successfully captured the AZOM, or the metal plant. So SITREP maps also reported the same thing, and this is based on I think a video footage that's come out from the plant itself. And on top of that, there is some developments as well. There is a geolocation of Ukrainian forces at this location, showing that the Russian forces have not been able to penetrate into this northwest part of Bakhmut itself. But there is fighting reported at Zelena Street, or Vulitsia Zelena. So this is reported by Deep State UA and RIBA. RIBA did not mention this street. They mentioned the other street. They mentioned the Kopakovie Street, which is actually this street. So RIBA reported this street is seeing fighting, whereas Deep State UA reported is this street. So basically it is the same thing. The Russian forces are attacking from in this area here, on the eastern part of this Vinnytsia lake. And then Khromove also see fighting. According to Maroshenikov, they say that heavy fighting continued to be reported near Khromove, with the Russians continue to put pressure on the Ukrainian forces in this area here. Interestingly is that the Deep State UA actually in their mapping considered this area. So previously this area they still mapped it under Ukrainian control. So now it's no longer. The Ukrainian forces seems to have redrawn, and now the Russian lines are now on their map looking like this, with the Russian forces managed to push through the forest. But in my opinion, this entire area here is unlikely to be under Ukrainian control. I just don't think they are there. I just think that the Ukrainians are probably more of around here. This is more probably the likely Ukrainian lines over at this region here. And then we have some geolocation as well on the Russian side, over at this this so-called the garage region. And fighting is also being mentioned to be reported around this area, according to Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source, and RIBA, the pro-Russian source. And they said that the Russian forces has managed to cross this Bakhmutovka River, and the Russian managed to cross over in this region, capturing this garage, and then they're now pushing out from this area here. So at least this is what seems to be reported. And this so in the northern part of Bakhmut city, as you can see, the Russian forces have crossed the river and captured the garage region. There is a push, and also there is also news, forgot to mention, that RIBA reported that the shops adjacent to Azov Vostomesh has been seemingly overrun, which is actually around this area here, with the Russians pushing in this area. They are attacking this area and also pushing towards Khromove, which is still very well held by the Ukrainian forces. So this is the line that the Ukrainians are currently still holding. So this is the situation in the northern part of Bakhmut, which means Russians are still making progress. And in the south, the situation is just as bad. Previously, we have a salient. The Ukrainian salients are looking something like this. The Ukrainian forces have withdrawn from this bulge or salient entirely. They cannot hold this line at all. And now the line is more straightened, mostly along the Mariupolska Street and the Vulitsia Shiroka, or the Shiroka Street. So basically the front line is along this road and along this road. Currently this seems to be the case, whereas the Russian forces are pushing in this area here. So I need to put the map down a bit. So of significance, you do need to note this stadium here, Stadium Avangard, because the Russian forces have captured this area. I think this is a market region, and so the Russian forces push and managed to have this flanking movement moving towards Avangard Stadium, while the Russians are pushing in the south that have captured the salient that the Ukrainians previously was in, according to information from Arriva. And then the Russian forces is also pushing in the area on the eastern part here, with geolocation of Russian forces by Deep State UA confirming that there is indeed a major advancement by the Russian forces in this area here, and the Ukrainian forces is now in some kind of trouble here, because if this line fall, and then the forces in this area here will be flanked again. So if the Russian push is in this way, then yet another salient, and then the Ukrainians will have to withdraw again. And this is looking like really bad. They are constantly getting outmaneuvered by the Russian forces, despite they are in the defensive position. So maybe rumors of the Ukrainians are not having enough ammunition, or maybe the lack of easy supply route, and the inability to resupply the forces in this area with ammunition might be really a real problem. Some rumors saying that the Ukrainians do not have enough soldiers to fight at Bakhmut. That could also be true. And in the southwestern part of Bakhmut, situation is just as bad. The fighting continues to be reported along Kosunskogo Street, which is actually this entire road here. This is Kosunskogo Street. The Russian forces continue to be attacking in this area as well, mostly positional. Mostly the Russians are not pushing very hard. They are basically firing at each other, trying to gain a more stronger tactical positions, while they are pushing in the other area over here. And then however, the fighting has reached very close to the MiG-17 monument. So the Russian forces have made some progress, and they have flattened this line. Previously the line was actually like this, and the Russian forces have taken over this area here. As a result, the Ukrainian forces has pulled back, and they are holding up probably around this area here, which actually there is high-rise building here. As you can see, there is some high-rise building. The Ukrainians probably are holding up in this area, trying to prevent the capture of this area while the Russians are pushing. The problem is, if the Russians take this, the entire junction here, this junction here will be lost. And with the high ground that these buildings are able to provide, the entire, if the Russian forces capture this, they will have pretty good fire control over this entire area here. So then the Ukrainians will struggle to hold this position, and they will have to withdraw away from this area. And that will, so this is very strategic, these high buildings, so it's looking really bad, and the Ukrainians will have to fall back to a new line of defense, probably further up north, with all these higher buildings that is around this area that they can continue to hold on the western part of Bakhmut city. In the center of Bakhmut situation, there is some high buildings, but high buildings doesn't mean you cannot be hit by shells. So the main problem is the rumors of the Ukrainians do not have enough ammunition, or they are unable to convince soldiers to come into Bakhmut, or they do not have enough soldiers to actually deploy in Bakhmut. So whatever the rumors are, whatever the situation are, the Russians are making progress in the entire area of Bakhmut city from the north. This is almost not even northeast anymore, because the northeast is this area. So in the northeast, and then we have the northwest at Khromove, in the southwest, and then along Kokonskogo Street, moving towards Avangard Stadium and towards the southwest outskirts of Bakhmut. The situation is must be really bad for the Ukrainian forces. Anyway, this is the quick update over at the Bakhmut city, going into details, and I'll see you in the next update.